Hey guys, it's Danny from Death to Lefties. How you guys doing today? What an amazing show are we gonna have? Starting up with a little bit of the Beatles, and all you need is love. This week has been quite insightful for myself. I got to meet an amazing young man. Talked to him on the phone yesterday, Mr. Cornelius. Hope you're watching, brother. And if you're not, well, good to talk to you yesterday. Thank you for sharing some things with me, some personal things. You know, and you never know who it is you're going to meet and when and why you're going to meet them. To meet somebody else whose brother was actually stationed on the same ship as me, that's quite, I don't know, it's quite emotionally inspiring. I mean, that was almost 20 years ago. And life and the universe still brings people together. No matter what, we are destined always to meet somebody that's just going to change our world. It's going to change our outlook in our lives. Today, we don't have a guest, but the three of us, are my two co-hosts, Ben and Isaiah. You know, we're going to be our own guests today. We're going to talk about some really fun things. I want to start something maybe this week, the Author's Corner. So stay tuned for that. My first book is something kind of near and dear to me. It's somebody that's really kind of special in my life. So all you need is love. That's all you need. What happens when you have an abundance of it and you just want to watch the world grow? What happens when you care? When you care in abundance, you just want to watch the world grow. What happens when you don't want anything in return and watching the world grow happens? Because you have love. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining us and following and helping us out, you know. We got about 40 seconds until the show starts. Listen, and if you love the Beatles, amazing. And if you don't, learn to love the Beatles, because how can you say anything else? Love is all you need.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that Mike? Is that Mikey Marsnick? Mikey Marsnick. What's that, point guard? How's the knees, brother? Pretty good? Dude, good to see you. So, hey, you should try to join me on a trail run this summer. I'll let you know the national parks that we're going to and see if maybe you can join us or something. Stay tuned. Going on. It's going on.
Welcome to another beautiful afternoon in Crescent City. It's gorgeous out there today. Welcome to DTL. Well, how are you doing, Dandy? How you doing, Zay?
Please.
Loving life. Loving life.
Oh, man. Loving life. So, how big is that boy this week? Because it's spring break, right?
He was 17 pounds, 14 ounces yesterday.
17 pounds, 14 ounces. That
Getting big.
quick.
Sitting up.
Let's see if we can get rid of some glare.
Yeah.
There we go.
Vampire.
Oh, vampire it. Oh man, sorry about that, guys. Oh, so when you guys walked in from, I'm amazing. I had a great week. I had a great weekend last week. How you been, Benny?
Been good.
How was your week?
It's been, a wonderful roller coaster.
What was your favorite part of this week?
Favorite part of this week? Seeing progress and helping.
That's
Certain things seem to be moving in the right directions, and I'm looking forward to the amazing opportunities that this summer provides, and being able to help more people and have a larger reach in helping people.
Yeah. Like today with Liz.
Oh.
That's amazing. We're about to have cows and goats and chickens and sheep.
Oh my, barbecue tacos.
Well, and beautiful fresh produce and just all sorts of amazing things moving forward, getting us closer to this whole goal of being closer as a community. Because,
That's awesome.
hey,
That is awesome.
we can all go to the store and buy veggies and meat and stuff like that. And we can, if we actually, have the gumption, and once the farmers markets start up again, go there and get some even better fresh produce. But, how amazing would it be to be able to get, all your eggs and stuff like that from a local source, which I know there are local sources now, but, at the same time, they aren't as prevalent as they should be.
Right. What was your favorite part of this last week? This last show. What was your favorite part?
Just a lot of that daddy time.
Ooh,
Seeing-
we're walking
seeing-
that property.
Seeing the boy,
Oh,
just
get
the
excited.
cognitivity that he has already, just
Mhm.
hand to eye and just happiness. It's you can't replace that with anything.
Now, I don't know how many people out here in our world are new parents for the first time or even have newborns. But when you're sitting next to somebody that has a newborn and you can feel the energy radiate and you can see the smile on their face when they're just talking about their child, that's one of the most I can't stop touching this man.
Well,
Right?
you need to learn. You need to
amazing.
learn how to accept that energy in an even closer form. Because the one thing you've raised kids,
Uh-huh.
I mean, they fall down.
Yep.
They're pretty tough.
Yes.
And I realize that we are all clumsy humans. But
Oh,
if I can,
you don't want me holding a newborn.
yeah, dude.
No. I'm not even allowed to chew gum and walk in certain countries. That's you want
Hey,
me to
hey.
breathe and walk at the same
That
time.
that
Let me
was
sit down.
that was a different dandy though.
it
Yeah,
was.
Yeah,
It was.
It
It really
was.
was. So I don't know. Maybe we'll give it a chance. Maybe we'll give it a try. I'll have to get.
I mean, at least
I'll have to get the baby to sign a consent form.
I mean, try it sitting down first. You know what I mean?
I'll have to get the baby to sign a consent form.
Right.
Can he do that? I mean, it is spring break, right? And I know his instructors. His instructors are amazing people. He's homeschooled. His instructors are amazing people. So, yeah, and you're probably asking, why am I asking you what your favorite part is? Right? What your favorite part was? Well, it's a relationship builder. When we as a society, when we as couples and friends, in any form of relationship, when we take that moment to really care about what somebody's favorite part of a day, it allows us to not only think about what we did, but it also allows us to, care that somebody else is taking that moment. So it's kind of it's a relationship builder. And I was talking with a friend of mine today. I'm not going to say names, but I was talking with a friend, and they were curious on, how can we build a relationship? If something's starting to feel like it's falling apart, what can we do? And me going through a divorce for the couple of time, how could I have? And a lot of times it's just that one question.
Yeah, it's just
You know,
communication.
It is.
Yeah, well, massive amounts of communication always have to be there. Without communication, you have nothing.
Yeah,
That's right.
But also on top of that, we get stuck in this monotonous routine, and that's one of the biggest things that, with this monotonous routine, we can try to build healthy relationships. And I'm not saying that we cannot have healthy relationships.
Right.
But I am saying with this monotonous routine thrown into the mix, that is literally like putting all the bets against us.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why we have depression. That's why, there's a lot of things. That's why there's the substance abuse issues. Because, what do I have to look forward to today? I'm going into my job, and what is my job? I get to sit there and do nothing, and it's nothing that pleases me.
Well, a lot of times it's just nothing that feels satisfying. Nothing that feels rewarding. You get to go do 40 hours someplace or 30 hours someplace, but what do I do at the end of the day? I might have stocked a shelf. I might have mopped a floor, but it doesn't feel rewarding. So what is it that we need to do in our daily work lives, our daily society lives? What is it that we need to do in order to feel that kind of reward within? And if you are at a job where you don't like it because it's not rewarding, then make it rewarding. There are so many opportunities in every job to make it rewarding. And it's not that but it's not that you're looking for whatever. If you see a spill, go take care of it. If you
Well,
do whatever it is that you
instead of
need
trying
feel.
to, and I'm not saying don't make your job rewarding, because yes, try to find joy in anything that you do.
There you go.
But at the same time, instead of trying to make your job better, we live in this beautiful area that has so much just given to us for free if you go take a hike. Like, try to find a hobby that you could create like a little side business and do something. Because, you know, the thing about that is even if you aren't making ends meet off of doing a little hobby like that, but you can make a couple extra bucks here and there, that couple extra bucks that you make doing that will feel a million times better than anything you get from, you know, other sources.
And I am 1004% in agreement with that. One of the side things that a lot of people don't understand, and I'm just learning about as well, is if you want to start one of these little hike groups, you got to start looking at, depending on the number of people you have, you got to start looking at insurance. And then you got to start looking at other things. And then in order to use a certain place, they want you to pay a fine or a fee for something, and some of it may or may not be refundable. And just to go battle, you get 5 people together to battle depression and substance abuse, and you want to go for a hike, and it's going to cost you $1,000 to use a park for insurance and all this other stuff.
Yeah, we have to pay to use public land.
Yeah.
Well,
just to battle something like that.
But right there, that inherently should remind you of the problems that we're facing. Because why do we allow stuff like this to continue to happen? Because, you know, the fact of the matter is we pay taxes so we can go enjoy public lands and stuff. Yep. But, you know, no, we give $10.8 million a day to Israel for military defenses. Do you realize $10.8 million? And they have free health care. You can go to college for free and all that stuff. So what are we doing wrong?
Let me ask you, how much do you think it takes or costs, to maintain the Grand Canyon? How much do you think it costs to maintain it?
Well, considering we can't go there and clean it up for free.
Well, no, we can't. So how much do you think it really costs to maintain the Grand Canyon? That was there. Oh, by the way, it's celebrating its 100th birthday. It's the Grand Canyon is 100 years old this year.
A couple hundred.
No. It says 100 years old.
Yeah, the national park.
Yeah. The Grand Canyon. Happy
National
birthday
park.
this year, Grand Canyon. I'm glad you survived the last 100 years.
And the Grand Canyon's only a few hundred years old.
But how much do you think it costs to maintain that? And yet it's
Well, people are slow.
$5 million or 5 million people or so a year travel through there at $35 a carload.
Well, think about how many people
And that's
would
every
be
national park.
Think about how many people would be willing to
Where's
show
that money
up there
really
if we
going?
offered free food to show up there to clean.
Yeah, but
Place would be packed.
where's that money going if it doesn't really cost? You're doing the math in your head. I can see it. Where does that money go? Because I
just told you.
If I'm picking up the trash in that
goes.
park, and I'm watching employees of the park stand there do nothing while trash floats by them with the breeze. Hello there, garbage. And I still pay taxes. I still pick up the trash. Where is this money really going? From all of our national parks, because by my calculation, that's $1 trillion a year business.
Well, you can go on the internet and see all these people that have cured themselves of cancer. So where's all the money for the Cancer Foundation going?
Yeah.
You know that the pink ribbon for breast cancer. I did a report about that when I was a young kid. You know, my mom was a lactation consultant, worked at a gynecology office, so I was surrounded by that sort of thing. So I took interest. And you look into Susan Coleman or whatever, you know, that foundation's name is, 90% of that money goes towards their parties and towards the people that work there.
Fundraisers.
They don't use any of that money for cancer research. Why?
There's no money in
Because
it.
there's patented cancer cures that they just hold on to. Because like Goldman Sachs, you know, released to the public and they said, there is no money to be made in curing disease.
That's right.
Therefore, it is an impractical business model for a medical company to cure disease.
So
Like, let that sink in, people.
that leads me to today's show title, right? Blind obedience and life's double standard of it, right? So people, we do live in a blind world. We are blind to everything that we do. We watch and we sit by every single day as those that make the rules break the rules and we yet hold us accountable. The other day I'm on my run. I'm jogging down 9th Street and I come to a corner, and I'm going to say this, I really don't care, but I'm coming up to a corner, and as I look up, I'm paying attention. I got my headphones in, I'm paying attention, and I see the gray undercover cop come up. So I stop at the corner as he comes up to the stop sign. I notice I'm kind of standing in his blind spot right there. I move and I'm waving him. I wave him again. Wave him again. The dude's not moving. I sidestep 2 steps to the left to look. He's sitting there texting on his phone. And
Wait,
that's
wait,
okay.
wait. I thought that was something that we can't do while driving.
No, we're not supposed to. Nope. Nope. So I jogged around the car.
Sitting still.
You know,
But I jogged around the car, the back of the car, because I don't know if he's going to lunge forward or nothing. I've had it happen to me, I don't know how many times, people not paying attention. So I jog around the car and I hit the other corner, look behind me, nope, still texting. Hit the other corner, I look back, the car's still sitting there. How is this okay? Now, I'm all about finding the positive in things.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the positive in this? The positive is I didn't get hit.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't die.
He was stopped at an intersection.
Doesn't matter.
It's like he could have pulled over to the curb.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, looking at it.
I
from
know the
that
intersection he's
standpoint,
talking about. There's plenty of parking.
Double
I
standards,
I
you know?
understand that, and it's you know.
But
Not
if we're going to be
necessarily
held
double
accountable for every little thing that we do, you know, the fact that, hey, I didn't want to wear my seatbelt today, who does that really affect? Me and the people that know me.
Well, I understand.
But they can generate revenue off of the fact that I chose not to wear a seatbelt.
I totally understand this, but you're splitting hairs when it comes to when you're trying to argue a point with a example like what he put forth. It's like
Where's the
if
safety?
you're gonna make a case about something, you need something circumstantial as well as hard, you know, evidence. And what he was doing, yes, granted, he was sitting in his car while I was running, texting.
In the middle of the road.
I mean, at an intersection.
At an
where there
intersection,
isn't much traffic,
blocking it, but
where there isn't
But
much
still,
traffic.
he's impeding
I
traffic,
understand.
blocking an
I under-
intersection. So
I-
not only was he breaking the law of being on his phone,
I understand that.
but if
You're
we do
holding
something,
somebody accountable.
but
for
if we do
that
something
all
like that,
know
we
we've
get dragged
done.
out of our car and beat.
Right.
No.
Right. Look,
Yeah.
we have all done it. But does it make, and so,
It's
but
not
leading
that
by
crucial.
example. It
I
is.
understand that.
It's
I
a safe-
understand.
sorry,
Now
as
that's
a
now that's the-
pedestrian-
now that's where you should have went with it.
As a
That's the
pedestrian
other- that's the
runner
other spectrum.
and as a pedestrian in general, the safety issue is now where do we go?
Yeah, because I'm not trying to defend anyone. Because honestly,
I'm not trying
if
to
you
defend
use a
anyone
phone
either.
while you're driving, stop driving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stop driving.
But you're
Period.
saying he wasn't in movement. He was.
But he's
stopped.
driving. But
He
he's
was stopped.
he's driving a car. That is why German cars used to not have cup holders. Why do you need to be drinking while you're driving? No, you're driving. Pay attention to driving.
It is against the law
Like
in Europe
I have
to
no.
eat and drink while driving.
I cannot be nice about anyone that texts or talks on their phone or uses their phone while driving because you're driving a car. Pay attention. More cars kill people than guns and
No,
drugs.
for sure.
So, you know, that is something that's very, very, very close to my heart because I take driving really serious.
So I do too. And so now I am
I ain't gonna
I
text
am
while I'm
going
trying to
to-
race my car.
So I am going to do
Well, of
something
course
from
not.
now on because I do jog. I am trying to feel better. I'm trying to also get in shape for some of these 5Ks and some of these programs and stuff coming up. But from now on, if I see an injustice, and it doesn't matter if you work for the city, you work for the county, the state, the government, I don't care. If I see an injustice, I am going to go, and if it impedes me, seriously impedes me, I'm going to take a picture of it or take a little quick video of it and hold people accountable. And if I'm doing it, I hope somebody catches me and does, hey, why is it you're doing this, but you're talking about this? I hope somebody...
Well, this is what
You know-
citizen arrest is called.
Well,
You know, people
I'm
forget-
sure he's an amazing officer.
No,
I'm sure
I'm
he
just
is.
saying that in your circumstance of what you're talking about right now, that's what a citizen's arrest is. You make an arrest because you see injustice, and therefore you take the initiative to combat that.
So can we just, can we like, hey, flag him down and say, hey, you know, I got you? give him the little text message.
Just like you said,
Emoji.
take a picture, and you know.
Hey, you know,
Approach 'em,
start up
take a
a separate YouTube channel that
It
literally
doesn't
just
have to be, you know, it can be anyone. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to
No, and I'm not-
necessarily be
no,
people that
anybody.
work for the
no,
government.
anybody that's
Anybody.
doing stuff wrong.
Doing-
I mean, I hate to say it, we never like to be told we're wrong. We never like to
Nope.
be told it.
That's the human condition.
So, but the thing about it is, you know, in this, the way our justice system is set up, you know, it's not like you get told that you were doing something wrong, they throw you away in a box and don't let you talk to anyone.
Right.
So instead of like just making money off of people by putting them in boxes or making them do work for you and stuff like that, and I'm not saying that we all have to go marching around with a sign, oh, I stole something, but you know, like, hey, make people realize like, hey, yeah, I did this.
Well, it's
You know?
it's a proven fact that people would rather be incarcerated than being put to shame.
Exactly, because it
It's a proven,
forces
it's a-
you to
it's a
change.
proven point. It's
Yeah.
totally a proven point that people would rather be incarcerated than have to
Because that
actually
would
face
force-
their shame.
Because that would make people force to see what they did
Yeah.
Yeah.
and actually digest what they did and make improvements upon that. Because sending them away with a bunch of other people that all are in there for probably worse things than most people get sent in there now, you know, it's like sending in someone to, you know, away to be a criminal for life. Because it's just like, oh, go hang out with all these people and you're literally going to have nothing to do except talk to all these people about all the bad things they've done. And then you guys can figure out better ways to do the bad things once you get out.
Yeah.
Because once you get out, well, you know, society doesn't want you back.
Oh, and I like I said, I'm all for society. I'm all for communities. The police departments and the sheriff department, they have a lot going on. And I understand it. And it could have been something important that, you know, whatever. There were other things.
This is what I'm saying.
But-
You have to take
and
into
we-
consideration. He did
there's-
stop. He was at a complete stop. He was sitting still. Maybe he got a important text from somebody and was trying to read it, you know, and it's like he was at a complete stop. There was no, you know what I mean? So coming off at now, if he was driving down the road and you seen him and he was texting driving down the road,
I've seen it before too.
I've seen it
I've
before
seen
too.
it before too.
too.
You know,
But I'm
yeah.
just saying, to make that example, what you made an example could be, you know, you don't know the circumstance behind it.
Okay, so how about everyone, when they get a text then, just stops in the road, stops at the next stoplight, stops at the next stop sign, and just sits there and takes care of their business? That's not acceptable.
I understand, but you
There-
don't know the circumstance.
It doesn't matter if we don't know the circumstances. The circumstances are that he could take 30 seconds, and I'm giving him 30 seconds to pull over.
I know, I understand.
Well, there's
I
also
do-
these-
I totally see where you're coming from too.
Because if it was us in that circumstance,
We would have pulled over.
well, no, it's not even that we would have
I
pulled
know, I'm
over.
just saying.
We would not get the liberties that he has to just sit there.
I totally know.
That you know, we just need
You're
a.
preaching to the choir.
I know we need a fair.
Yeah.
Well, and
We just
you.
need standards. We just need to live to standards. I'm just giving you the opposite side of the
Yes.
spectrum.
Oh, I know.
To take
So-
a view from
so-
that we need to actually hold ourselves to these standards as well as the people around us. This is what it is. You are the company you keep.
Like if I'm driving, good luck getting a hold of me.
So
Like you won't get a hold of me.
I would like to say, officer, whoever you are, I'm not trying to throw you under the. Well, I did, but I'm not trying to. But I was running by your vehicle, so please, when you come up to a stop sign, if you're on your phone, pull over. Please pull over. Like as a pedestrian, who enjoys being outside and wants to continue to, I don't know, have faith in our justice system, please, set the example. If
Yeah,
anything else,
lead by
just set the
example.
example. You know, and if I ever see you out, if you ever see me out, please don't harass me, but I'll buy you a soda or something, you know, and let's kind of just build the society.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Good sound advice. This is what we
Mhm.
need. We need this communication. Goes back to
Yes, very much.
that. Goes back to the point of we need the communication between people, or the system breaks down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I had a job interview, and I told the interviewer that, you know, communication is key for me, and that was great. He loved that answer. You know, and that got me thinking today, as I was getting ready for today's show. I had two people help me with something. It's kind of a quote, right? Three people coming together and it's, life is amazing, but how do you pick yourself up after getting kicked in the junk?
Well,
And you just keep
Right?
moving.
How do you? Because we've all had the wind knocked out of us
yes.
in one way or another, and the
Yeah, I will say, I think getting the wind knocked out of you and getting kicked in the junk are two separate things. Because getting the wind knocked out of me, I need a minute to catch my breath. But getting knocked in the junk, it's almost one of those, you have to like find
Yeah.
the right way to walk the pain, to let the pain jump out of your
It
body.
can be from 1 minute to like 20 minutes.
Yeah, because like
Oh,
it's one of those things where you
Yes.
gotta like aim your leg just right, bend just the right way, and the pain
Oh,
exits your
man.
body. But
Yeah.
getting winded, you're like,
uh,
and then you need to retrain your lungs. Like, nope, you need to breathe, and then
Yes.
you get them to breathe, and then you're like, okay, now I can start to push myself up off this ground.
so isn't it? But who do you go to? Maybe emotionally or spiritually, Zay. Who do you go to when that happens? What do you do?
At first, I feel like it starts with yourself. So you have to come to the agreement with yourself that this is just life.
Yeah.
You know, life happens. And once you can admit to yourself that you can walk through it, you know, because we are that strong. You know, there's a lot of times in my life where I've been kicked in the junk. And it really just takes you knowing within yourself that this can't hold you down.
Right.
And once you make that commitment to yourself, it is always good to surround yourself with people that are trying to lift you up,
Indeed.
you know, and instead of putting yourself into a situation where you go off this deep end and you surround yourself with toxic people and you start, you know, falling into these pits and digging these holes and ditches for yourself that, you know, at some points get so deep you can't see the light anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And these are times in your life where you really have to admit to yourself that you're powerless at those times, that the energy around you is pulling you down. And once you admit that to yourself and you admit you were powerless at those times, you regain that sense of pride within yourself, this sense of self-knowing that you are capable of whatever. You know, you can put whatever in front of me and I can run through it. You know, and once you make that choice for yourself, you know, things become bountiful.
Right.
And you may not even be able to recognize it because what you thought you had before was so immense in your mind's eye that even these things that are starting to develop for yourself after a situation like that might not seem that great, but in the true sense of it, these are, you know, these are what really matters in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people get caught up and they backpedal, you know.
Right.
Some people take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back.
Hmm.
But in the same token, they learn the lesson again.
Yes. From 2000 to 2002, I was stationed in England. And I've been playing basketball since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, right? Like, I was little when I started. When I got there, I found the passion to coach. And it came from this old guy named Laurie. And Laurie was amazing. He learned to coach here in the States. He went to college and stuff. I was going through some things kind of emotionally. And he showed me so much from a coaching point of view on how to accept life in every aspect. And when I put that towards my basketball, I found a love for coaching. And it wasn't until 2009, 2010 that I had the true opportunity to coach for Uncharted Shores. Two young men came into my life, Christian Taylor and Mikey Marcinek. Mikey, this young man not only played basketball but soccer, and he was more of a soccer player than he was a basketball player. Mind everywhere.
I was going to say, probably had better endurance than the rest of your...
Oh my God, I tell you what, Mikey. This kid, amazing. But you could tell that his mind was just everywhere. Christian as well, mind everywhere. How to slow him down so that he can be more aware of his surroundings, we started kind of this little mantra. As soon as he gets fouled, he just goes straight to the free throw line. He stands there, puts his arms out, closes his eyes, and slows his heart, slows his breathing. While everybody else is going around, he's blocking out the crowd, he's blocking out the players, he's blocking out everything and centering himself to find himself. Because that's one of the hardest things in life is when you get hit, how do you slow yourself down to accept what just happened, take that next step, be aware, and move forward with it?
Well, this is the key in life, is to not drown it all out, but emulate right through. You see, you don't want to divorce yourself from the essence of what is life, even if it is looking for self.
Right.
So what the key is to emulate into the energy and harness that energy as well as channeling your own center.
Indeed.
Right? So if we can just accept, that's what it is. It's the acceptance of what it is. This is what I was trying to say before. Once you accept what it is that's happening, you are now within that field of energy, whether it may be good or bad. You know, you can the way you process it is in you. That isn't what it is out here necessarily.
Right.
Right. So that's the key to it. Is actually not taking yourself away from it all, but actually taking yourself completely into it.
Well, and another way to think of it too, is instead of just thinking energy, think of each energy in your life is, a different person. So if all the energies in your life are just calling you to talk about drama and all this stuff,
toxic.
well, guess what? Your life is going to be filled with drama.
Yeah.
And don't feel bad to have to separate yourself from that stuff. And that doesn't mean that you have to completely cut people out, but you just have to be like, no, until you want to come around and do something fun or go on a hike or, talk in a good manner, I don't want to sit there and listen to all this. I got better things to do with my time.
Bombard me with negativity.
Yeah.
I can turn the news on for that.
Exactly.
Well, and
if you really have something
right
bad happening that you need to talk about, that's one thing. But,
hey, Miss Amanda.
bad mouthing someone for, every time you have to talk to someone, you have to badmouth this person, and that's the way that you talk.
Yeah, that's...
Well, guess what? Get yourself away from that.
Why are you fighting battles uphill?
My ink slinger, Daniel, he just said, make life flow, better, and you'll be happier. And true.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, thank you so much. And I do have to make an appointment to come see you. Trust me, it is coming.
Yeah,
like-
actually, I need the rest of my finger.
Yes.
Well, I need the Love More put right here.
So Ben and I are gonna come see you. Zay. So the three of us and I the three of us and I. Yeah, because all three of us and I. We're gonna
The Lone Rangers.
The Road Rangers. So we'll come see you next week.
How can there be three of you if you're Lone Rangers?
Well, there's the three amigos, right? And they're all Rangers. Yeah, isn't that kind of like where the Macarena started? I bet you anything. That's where the Macarena started. Was the three amigos and Steve, right?
They only took away the hand
Oh
part.
my
They took
gosh.
away the out front hands, upwards, downwards.
Yeah.
They had the whole shoulder.
They had
shoulder
it
blades,
all, and then they even had the hip
the
wop,
thrust.
Yeah.
The
the
thrust.
thrust. Oh my gosh.
Great, great comedian.
Badges. We don't need those sneaking badges.
Badges?
Great comedian. I mean,
Oh.
have you got? I don't know. I know you guys like comedy.
Oh, very
You know
much.
me. I'm a complete like stand-up guy.
No, you're sitting down right now.
Yeah.
You sit down on
truthfully,
occasion.
yeah.
I can't make this up.
But I love stand-up, you know, and it's like amazing to see the quality of stand-up comedy that's coming out now
Who's your favorite today?
today.
Today. Because we all know it's George Carlin 10 years ago. But today, who would it be? George Carlin.
Yeah.
What? Hey, man, I love you, George.
I really like.
R.I.P.
Man, there's so many.
Fruffy.
Honestly,
Fluffy is hilarious.
there.
And Glaze, oh man, that dude is so funny.
I've seen him, and yeah, he's funny.
He's funny.
The funny thing is stand-up comedy. It's funny, and I enjoy it and everything. Don't get me wrong, but there's just something about it that rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know what it is. And it's not that I get offended by any of it, because I will laugh at some of the most offensive stuff in the world. But there's just, I don't know. There's just, I'm still trying to figure it out. There's a connection to Hollywood there.
I
So,
really like.
I don't know.
I really like Joey Diaz.
Oh, he's funny too.
He's just. He's a good storyteller.
Mhm.
And to me, good comedy is storytelling.
Yeah.
And
Right.
from life experience, why do you think Richard Pryor was the greatest?
Because
he could tell the story.
Oh.
And you have these amazing comedians. I really like that kid Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's from Louisiana. He's a trip.
Huh.
Yeah,
He's
he's
Theo
hilarious.
Vaughn.
Um,
Let's write him down. I have not heard of him yet.
yeah, he's hilarious. But
Somebody said one time about being PC, and I was asking them why they wanted to be a personal computer.
Mhm.
well,
And they just looked at me like I was crazy. And
Watch
it took me,
PCU.
I'm not joking, it took
Yeah,
me like a
watch
month to
Jeremy
realize
Piven.
PC
Yeah.
is politically correct.
movie.
I love that movie.
Which
We
one?
we should screen that together.
Yeah.
What's that?
PCU.
PCU.
Jeremy Piven.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies in the world.
PC.
Oh, it's amazing. How
does
come
that
everyone I've talked to, minus
that sounds
you,
familiar.
has not seen that
I
movie?
swear I've seen that.
Yeah,
Jeremy Piven.
yeah,
It's
great.
got
Artie Lang. Artie Lang's in it.
Yeah,
What, that
who's
dude's name? Theo what?
the dude
Theo
that was
Vaughn.
always with
Vaughn.
Chris Farley?
David Spade.
David Spade's in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Casual shoes. A casual shoe used for yachting.
It's a boat shoe.
that
That shoe.
Yeah, it's a loafer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
What's a look?
I'm really
You can't even say. Good Morning Vietnam. That's probably one of my top 10 favorite comedies
Yeah.
of all time. I mean, how do you get more politically correctly incorrect in a time of chaos?
Adrian Cronauer was a real man.
Oh yeah, that was
He
based on a true story.
He just passed away like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Wait, Robin Williams or Adrian Cronauer?
Adrian Cronauer.
Both of them.
Same
Both?
time, yeah. Months apart, I believe. And super amazing story.
That's
and
awesome.
Such a
Yeah.
Yeah, some of
hellacious
the
backdrop.
stories I've heard from Vietnam just.
I
I mean, I've heard some amazing ones, and I've heard some ones that literally just turned my stomach.
Yeah, my dad's a Vietnam vet, and I was doing a report in my junior year of high school about Vietnam, and I went to my dad and talked to him about it, and he had a few cocktails, you know, and he was kind of loosened up, and I went in there and I said something to him, and he just started to cry. And I was like, dang, you know, something, just bringing it up, you know, and he was already susceptible because he'd had a few drinks, you know, and he started to cry, you know. And I was just like, never mind, you know, we don't need to talk about this. We don't need to go there right now.
Yeah, the first time I watched Platoon was with my buddy's dad, who was a Vietnam vet, and that was one of the first times I had indulged too. And yeah, I will say that part that William Dafoe's left behind.
Yeah.
When you have someone that you consider a father who was also over there in Vietnam stand up, start crying, and hug you and go, son, I'd never leave you behind,
Yeah.
and walk out of the room. Whew. Yeah, some messed up stuff.
Yeah, my dad, so I tried to talk to him that one time. And then there was another time where him and and mind you, my dad has friends that they've been buddies since they were kids, still, to this day. They all hang out together. They've been buddies since they were like 10 years old. You know, my dad's 70 now. And these guys all went to Vietnam with my dad. And one night we're all playing cards in the pole barn, and I say something. Something came on TV or something, and one of my dad's buddies started talking about smoking hashish in Vietnam. So they kind of started talking about it, you know, and then it started getting deeper and deeper, and I was asking a few questions, you know, and then all of a sudden it was just like it became traumatic. You know, it went from being like
I did not expect
cool.
to go around this corner.
Everybody was being cool and all you know, chill, and then it just went to like these one or two like horror stories, and it was just like, all right,
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, we're done. We're done with this. I don't want to hear no more. Me, the one who was all like, tell me more, was like, I don't want to know anymore. Y'all keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
I was the gung-ho little...
Now I know why you don't want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah,
Please,
I don't want to...
I don't ever want to hear any of that again.
Yes.
And you know, that's, you know, what do they say? Ignorance is bliss. At that
Sometimes.
moment in my life, I was like, whoa.
Unfortunately, sometimes.
I would rather be more ignorant about this.
Yeah.
You know, and because those guys were susceptible to some really
So,
far out stuff.
Every veteran out there from the Civil War till now, thank you for your service and everything you've gone through, everything you're still going through. It's another reason why this.
Civil War.
Well, my grandma was one of
The
the
Revolutionary.
nurses in the Civil War. She was the head nurse in the Revolutionary War. When the Mayflower came over, she was the head nurse there. She taught them tourniquets and stuff like that. So my grandmother's been through every major war, just like what's his name on Forrest Gump, just like his grandfather's grandfather's grandfather. I guarantee my grandmother was right next to the guy fixing those wounds, and he died in her arms. I guarantee it.
I knew this guy named
Prove me
Roscoe.
wrong.
I knew this guy named Roscoe. He was in his 80s, and he worked at one of the places I worked when I was like, you know, in my teens. And he was a vet. And when I say he was a vet, this guy was one of the most bad people that you would ever meet.
Man,
World War II.
World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Yeah. My
Dude, he pulled up his shirt one day and he just had all these pock marks. And I've been stabbed. I know what it looks like when you get like hit by something like that. And I was just like, dude, it looks like you got shot up by a machine gun. He's like, oh yeah, I got hit by a machine gun nest. I was like, when did that happen? He's like, oh, that was Korea. And I was like, and you still went back to Vietnam?
Yep.
I got things to do.
Yeah.
Hey, switch the laundry for me. I'll be back. Right?
Like,
Well,
one of
thank
the
you
nicest
for
guys
your
in the
service,
world.
yeah.
And yeah, I remember I told him I was going to McDonald's for lunch one day. And he grabbed me by the back of my neck, dragged me, and was just like, no, you aren't. Dragged me to his Cadillac. He was an old southern black man, nicest guy in the world. He brought me to the supermarket. We ate in the supermarket.
So
And he was just like, you never go to McDonald's
isn't
again.
this what we should be all working towards? Is like this like acceptance of each other so we don't have to hear these crazy, wild horror
Yeah.
stories. It's like, where, or how long is it going to take for us to have a society that we don't ever have to think about stuff like that?
Really?
When are people going to be open and aware and conscious enough of their fellow human beings that we will no longer need to ever hear things of this magnitude, to ever be susceptible to a story that makes you cringe and go into a hole because what has happened or what has happened to another human being. And when are we going to get to this point where our consciousness actually says no to violence and evil and anger?
Yesterday, really quick. Well, I can't say really quick, but yesterday I had to make a phone call to do a follow-up. And the gentleman I talked to, his name is Cornelius. Cornelius, what an amazing young man. When I was leaving Japan, his brother was getting to Japan. So there's a possibility that I might have even known the guy, right? So we were talking. He's a vet. He was in the Navy for 8 years. Really, really nice guy. And he had this friend that took his own life a couple of years ago, not too long ago. And this guy's still dealing with this, And people in the military, yes, suicide prevention. Like, we need to reach out. We need to be more observant, more aware of what's going on, especially with these vets coming out today, right? Some of the terrible, like, we're just talking about some of these stories that people have been dealing with for 30, 40, 50 years. And these kids coming out now are just now dealing with this. And like, they have 50 years in front of them, hopefully.
And mind you, you're saying kids.
Kids.
Kids have to deal with
Kids.
these things.
These kids.
This is wherein lies the problem.
Yeah.
These people aren't even developed adults.
And
they're living these lives of terror and rage and confusion.
Literally just to help
Yeah.
the profit of people. Because one thing I'm going to just say is none of the wars that have been fought, and I'm going to go way back, like all these wars that we've heard about aren't fought because someone wanted to bomb us or someone wanted to hurt us. They are literally fought to make money.
Yeah.
It's the only reason wars are fought, to make money.
Wake up, people.
And
Like, we all don't want these wars, but you really think, look at old pictures of Syria.
yeah.
Look at pictures of Syria from the 80s. That place was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Iraq, gorgeous. All these places used to be gorgeous. You really think they wanted to come over here and hurt us? The only time people have wanted to hurt us, and by us I mean the U.S., is because we go over there and we destroy everything, and then we set up McDonald's and say, hey, we want you to live this way.
And Walmart.
Yeah.
Like, no. And I'm not saying that there can't be expansion of business to other countries and stuff like that. But realistically, like I said, if we were all up here and we all had a little chunk of land, like everyone, and we're all up here, we're farming, we're having a good time, we're doing art, we're doing whatever we want, people are playing video games, I mean, whatever you want, you're having a good time. And everyone down in Eureka and Arcata is doing the same thing. Are we going to be like, oh man, we got to get down there and take care of them because, they're going to come up here and they're going to stop what we're...
No, they're doing
Everybody wants to do the same stuff.
So this, what I wanted to get to was these men that are losing their friends and these loved ones to this depression and not being able to get the help. They're afraid to ask for it, and we can't see the signs.
Well,
right?
and not only
So, Cornelius,
if you ask for it.
Anybody that has lost somebody, and you're dealing with this, send me a message. If you need to talk, call me, FaceTime me. If you are not feeling if you're not feeling good about yourself, I'll be that voice. We together can beat anything. But it's up to you. I'm not going to do it for you. I refuse to give you 1,000%. You suck 1,000% continuously. You are the one that needs to rise up and accept the fact that it will get better. We can't do it for you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Mm-hmm. Well, you can push their head down in it, but are they really drinking?
You're gonna drown
no, yeah, then they're like, nope, let me go. So you know what? Rise up. Tomorrow is a new day. Do not be afraid. It is always a new day. And Cornelius, brother, I appreciate you for sharing that story with me. You know, and my uncle, when I was 4, my uncle took his own life. Dealing with substance abuse. His friend died. He was just a lost person. Didn't know how to ask for help. People didn't know how to help. We have more programs today to help with depression, substance abuse in general. But people don't want to accept the fact that they are fallible. Nope, nothing's wrong with me. Nobody want, and then my favorite one that I like to hear is nobody wants to hear my problems. Bull. Because I'm sitting here right now telling you I want to hear your problems. Because if you get it off your chest, great. And hey, we can make up a name for you, right, Joyce?
Well, look, this is the perpetuation of sin. You do these things to people, and they in turn, if they have that little bit of spite or angst, they become that which was done to them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So therefore, they perpetuate this system of hate, and I don't even know what it is. Thank God that I wasn't. I didn't have to live that. You know, there's a lot of bad things that my parents did, or weren't there for me or whatever, but they kept me safe. That was at least the thing they did for me.
Right.
And they never
Amen.
crossed me in those ways, which so many children and so many people have had that twisted things in their life, and I'm so fortunate that I can stand on my own 2 feet and say that I wasn't part of that perpetuation of evil that is that all these kids and all these people have been indoctrinated into, unknowing to themselves, unwillingly.
Right.
Is more what I'm trying to say, not unknowing, but unwillingly being indoctrinated into, and this psyche develops in their mind where sometimes they feel like that is the only way out to, taking their own lives,
And Mike just chimed in too. He said, yeah, it's hard. And he's in the Army, I believe. Christian joined the Air Force, and when these 2 young men do their service and they get out, you guys, if you ever need me, Mike, that's never been even a question.
We're all here.
And
we're all here
there's always a voice. There's always a hug. I challenge you to free throws when you come home.
I challenge you to hug 5 of your brothers today.
But go hug 5 friends, Mikey.
There you go.
Go hug 5 friends.
Those are your
because
brothers.
They need it. And you can use it too, brother.
Those
really.
Are brothers.
Yeah.
Brothers
See,
in arms.
this is where we get convoluted. We need to be looking at every person around us as our brother and sister, and quit looking at people as friends, because the love you carry for a brother or a sister is beyond that of a friend. And I understand once you have a friend for a long time, they become your brother and sister. Mm-hmm. So if we could just start off in this motion of it, everything would change. I feel like people put these blocks up. We build walls. Right. Pink Floyd said it the best.
Yeah, you're another brick in the wall.
You're another brick in the wall. So why does every person that you come in contact with have to be another brick that's in your wall, instead of rocking out and having it?
And I got a great thing for veterans. Like, okay, so one of my veteran buddies who was a highly decorated Army Ranger sniper. Okay, so this dude literally had to sit there and get shot at while he's looking at these people in his scope and couldn't pull the trigger or do anything. This guy could not get hired by the Chicago Police Department because he apparently was not, safe enough to be around. Okay, no. I don't think anyone should be able to be, and this is just me being very brash about it, but no, all veterans should be able to be cops. And all the people that are just blah, blah, blah off the, like I got beat up in high school, now I'm going to be a cop. Well, guess what? You got to go to lawyer school and then you can become a cop. Because these dudes went across country and these ladies went anywhere and did horrible things and got all maimed just because they wanted to protect us, America. So I would trust them with any amount of firepower, weaponry. The cops could walk around with automatic weapons and I would have no problem. But the fact that you guys even have a handgun or a taser terrifies me. I am terrified.
Little boy in the black shirt.
Yes.
So, okay. So, 2 weeks ago, we had Nick on, right? Was it last week? Last week. We had Nick on, right? And I am all for that. But again, remember, they are transitioning from one to the other.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to have that evaluation and.
Well, that was more so for the prison guard.
Well,
because
true.
You're putting a man into a 12-hour-a-day place with inmates every single day.
So
where
yes.
where a cop is integrated back into or a police officer is integrated back into society on patrol every day. What they did in the military every day.
Yep.
They went on patrol.
And if we change the police from instead of being, Sheriff of Nottingham, tax collectors, because that's literally all you are. Or I'll be nice, I'll call you pirates, because pirates are actually pretty cool in my head. But you guys are road pirates. You guys are out there stealing money. That's all you're doing.
You remember the movie?
Because when someone gets their bike stolen, what do? Oh, you're at least nice enough to show up and maybe fill out a piece of paper, but then you literally will say in front of the kid, yeah, there's nothing we can do about this. Even though we'll see that same bike riding around town and we could send pictures to you and say, hey, go get it, and you aren't going to do anything. So why are you really there? You're there creating income. And I would much rather have, even though, yes, I understand that there can be some psychiatric problems after dealing with some of that stuff. But if they didn't have to write stupid tickets for stupid stuff, and they literally were driving around just looking for bad things to go down, I would much rather trust that.
Oh yeah. We got about 20 seconds. We're gonna go to a small break, and what's our song? What is it? What's Kiss?
We'll let it play.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Okay.
We're gonna let it play.
So,
I don't need you to start singing.
Yeah.
What? You guys.
Hey,
you
can
step
come
on a
back.
Lego. You're going to step on a Lego.
You can go back and sing.
I will. Hey, we'll be right back with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Mikey, I love you, brother.
All right, we're at the top of the hour. You are listening to KFUGLP, Crescent City. I'm going to play a quick song for you, and then we will be right back.
Can we turn it up, too, in the showroom really quick?
In the showroom, you said?
In the showroom. Gonna... Oh, what a song.
Well, I'm taking care of two things while I go out
Doobie and
if you guys want to smoke that, yeah, I was actually
PP?
thinking peeing.
Yeah.
Mikey, brother, it's good to talk to you, man. How have you been? Can't wait to see you. Send me a message when you're on your way home from for leave or whatever, right? And we'll catch up, do a barbecue, something. I'm getting ready to start running those trails in national parks. I ran 5 last summer. Grand Canyon, Canyonlands, Arches, Bryce, and Zion. I even did Bryce and Zion in the same day. It was amazing. So this summer I'm going to do 8. I know which ones they are. I don't have them memorized yet. But there's also an international one that goes from Montana to Canada. So I want to see if there's a trail that connects the two. and run that. So today I'll be asking for sponsors for this trip. Really, all we need is gas money. It's pretty much all we need. So if you want to join me on a couple of trails, on a couple of runs, man, that'd be amazing. It'd be so much fun. So much fun. Right now. Seriously, gotta go to a Cubs game. I've been to the Giants. I've been to the A's. I've seen Ken Griffey Jr. Send me Miss Nadia. How are you, Nadia? How is Mr. Rames? Mikey Rames. Good to see you, brother. Oh my gosh. Send me an angel. Guys, almost. Well, welcome back. Hey, Ben. They'll be back in just a minute. You know, so much has happened this week, and give me a second. Let me see what Mikey has to say. Sounds like you're living life up. I will try. Get out of the Army around December. Hopefully, I'll be trying to take leave. Father's Day. Yes, brother. I know exactly how.
Back.
I know exactly how the
Navy
is. I know exactly how the Navy is, and so, this last week, I started writing book 3, right? Mm-hmm. And I made it through I made it through the first chapter. How do you start something new, right? And it got me thinking about my first mentor, Will Merriweather. And one of the first meetings Will and I had, he handed me his book. And his book is called Becoming Earnest. And this book, like what we've been talking about, deals with depression, substance abuse, moving around, doing things. Somebody joining the military, what do you do when you get out of the military and you're dealing with those PTSD issues? And then I had a meeting with a dear friend of mine who's actually joining me this weekend for my birthday, going down to roller derby with me. So I'm really excited. Thank you, my dear friend. I greatly appreciate you. We had a talk about when you lose something, you feel like you keep losing something, right? Like you can never catch that break. What is it that when you've lost your hope, and you lost your faith, and you lost your will, what do you have left? You lost these 3 things, right? And if you lose one more thing, you're done. That's why that's where the suicide thing comes in. Is because these people have lost so much, but when they lose the desire to even try. So when I
Mic drop.
sorry. So when it brought me back to becoming earnest, and the way the book opens is deep. And how do you capture somebody and let go of your full self? We as authors, we are authors every single day. Every day we are writing our own story, and people are reading our story. And every day we're inspiring somebody or uninspiring somebody. So we got to thinking about when you hit that fourth one, when you lose that desire, what is it that you need?
Love.
You do. That is one of the best 4-letter words ever.
It's the only one.
But
The other ones cast spells.
yes.
This one invokes life.
So my dear friend who has gone through and lost and hit that bottom, to watch these next 4 words come out of their mouth is that, one, you have to have that grief. You have to accept the grief. 2, you have to have remorse for that grief. 3, you have to have the gratefulness for every day to have that next chance to move forward. And the last word is passion. Because once you have all those 3 things, you get your passion back for your desire, your will, your faith, and your hope.
True.
So where did I go? Book 2 ends kind of, people are not going to like me. I already know. I already got feedback from the last part of my book. I'm still not being talked to right now. And that's fine. It's deep. What happens when you lose it all? So
I can speak from experience. you go through dark places. You actually find what is really important to you, and you accept the fact that it's stuff. You lost stuff. As long as you ain't dead, it's all stuff.
But what happens when that stuff is people?
You have to accept death. We all die.
Yeah.
Maybe it was their time, and when it's not you don't have control of it. So therefore, if you are in these ways, you're putting expectations on someone else to live their life to your standard, not you accepting them for what they did and what they went through.
So somebody loses their job, and then they lose their mom or their dad. Then they lose their best friend. Then they lose their dog.
You want me to tell you something?
Right. So
you're talking about my life right now. I lost my brother, my best friend, since I was in the crib. Our parents have been friends our whole lives. I lost him. One summer, I lost him. I lost another really close friend of mine from my crew we were 10 years old when we met each other, I lost these 2 men in my life. And then, I moved away from everybody. So I became isolated. So I had no one around me, but my mom. And I kind of went into this dark place. Then I got blown up in an explosion. And I was burnt. And I looked crazy, because half my hair was gone and my face was falling off, you know what I mean? And I'm burnt down.
Well, you look amazing now.
Body,
right? You're handsome now.
And then, you go through these things in life, and sometimes you question yourself. But then you look at it that you're standing there before these things, and you are still there. You are that embodiment of what you want to be, or else you wouldn't be standing there. You've lived through these, trials and tribulations that have been roller coasters and everything. And we have to remember that the reason we're here is to learn.
Yeah.
And these lessons transcend so far in other places where those other people are. You know, because energy never dies. We have to remember this. It transcends. So regardless of what anyone wants to believe or what you feel is right, you know, we have to know that if we live our life to a point of love, it's love.
Yes.
You know, love is
Transcends all.
divine, and it transcends all. Because when it comes down to it, time is man-made and it's irrelevant. But love,
It's a scientific fact. You can watch a pot of water and it will slowly boil.
so yeah, I
You
have,
walk away.
It's scientifically proven.
Yeah,
that
You
if
walk away
watch
40
it-
seconds later, it's boiling.
and you can also prove that if you tell that water you love it every day, it's beautiful.
Yep.
But if you walk by the same glass of water or two glasses of water next to each other, you tell this one you love it and this one you hate it every day. Within a week, that one that you told you hate it grows all this yucky algae and starts to, you know, become rancid. Where that one that you tell you love it is just beautiful and crystal clear.
We are going to have a science experiment starting tonight after the show.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Oh,
proven,
yeah. Well,
and
'cause I
it's
know it
done
works
by
with plants,
Dr.
so-
Yamoto.
Yeah.
You can look this up. It's Dr. Yamoto. He has been doing the study now for, I believe it's like 25 years on the study of water.
Same glass of water?
No, come on. He's done this study to prove
never
that
know.
water has memory. Water is
Yeah, German
memory.
scientists actually
This is
proved that as
why-
well.
This
Huh.
is why I believe we are in the age of Aquarius. And what is Aquarius doing? It's dumping a pail of water upon the people. The water is the lost knowledge that the people have been suppressed from. So this is what we call the Great Awakening.
Mhm.
Now we step forward into this rationalization of consciousness that is given to us that we are totally open to receive if we so choose to be. But, you know, people are, like, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. People are so inundated every day with fear and angst and paranoia and all these things of this machine that has, you know, built these bricks in the wall.
Well,
And-
speaking of the machine, so if you watch the regular news or whatever, you turn on your TV and you're watching these things, you know, have you ever wondered why you have more questions than answers when these are supposed to be the answers? But why do you still have these questions?
Because they don't give us a real answer. They beat around a bush.
They
It's-
don't even beat around the bush. I
It's
mean,
scripted.
they
It's
put
all
it straight in
scripted.
your face.
Yeah, and it's all scripted. This
But
is
you know,
thing.
but the fact of the matter is if you start to really think about, you know, some of these
Hey, Miss Blanca.
conspiracy theories, as some people would put them, or just, you know, different ways of thinking.
Well, you could call it science.
The-
What is science? Theory.
Yeah.
So if you want to go off on the conspiracy theory, what everybody wants to call these truths. That
Well,
are
there
now
was a
being
great
foretold
TV
to
show
people.
called
It's
Fringe
like-
Science.
Yeah, so it's like, well, everything in science is a theory.
Mhm.
There isn't proof of any of the things that we consider real. So therefore, if people want to say conspiracy theory, okay, well, this is just my theory of the truth. So
And technically, the definition of conspiracy theory is two or more people conspiring against the government.
right.
So if you really think about that,
It sounds
why
like a
are they?
patriot.
Why are they calling? Yeah. So why are they calling all these
Sounds
things?
like a patriot.
You know, like it's
Yep.
pretty funny. Like you
Mel
know,
Gibson.
well, what do you attack
Yeah,
first?
Well,
Like
no, I-
realistically, like whether or not you want to, what do you truly attack first? Even at the most kindest, best person, you know, you have to
attack the
defend.
mass.
You have to defend yourself. So you have to attack whatever is actually threatening to you.
Listen,
So why do you think you see all these things about conspiracy theories now and how they're hoaxes and a joke
well, look,
when you go back to that movie Conspiracy Theory and almost all the conspiracy theories that he said before the movie even started in the titles have all been proven true now.
yeah, so this is what we have to realize is that the pyramid scheme that everybody thinks is what it is backwards, man. The power is at the base of the pyramid because we're the ones holding
We're the foundation.
top up. Okay, so when you hear all this bull crap about, you know, it works this way, it works that way. Well, no, they just work programs to suppress us down because they keep us fed so we can hold them up. And if we all just wake up and realize that the power lies in us as the people, then we can change things. We're the 99%, you know? All it takes is us to put a leg out and go, hey, you need a leg up? You need a leg up? All right.
And I heard you say...
Let's leg it up all the way to the top.
And I heard you say modern day slavery. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the fact is, we can't just live life. It's impossible. Even if I were to work for 30, 40 years, save up all my little dollars, you know, all my little talismans, and then I go and I buy a piece of property. Well, guess what? I still have to pay taxes on that property. And if I build a house, I have to ask permission to build a house on my own property. So don't tell me that I have freedoms or that I have to pay for the right to exercise my freedom.
Well, it's the perfect thing as your driver's license.
Yeah.
Right? Let's look at it just from a simple standpoint, right?
How much was your license when you first got it? Do you remember?
No.
I paid $16.
Okay, well,
$16 in 2000.
My point is,
Now it's like 48. What?
listen, my point is,
What?
why do I have to pay the state or the government money for a license to drive when in the Constitution it says clearly that I'm able to be in transportation freely anywhere in this country? I can travel freely any way in this country. Horse, buggy, car, bike.
What? Isn't there a loophole in there?
No, I'm just saying. Why do we have to pay for something?
Yeah, why
that's
are we
already
paying
written
for something
into our
that's-
foundation?
Yeah. That we
This was
are
the
supposed to have.
cornerstone. This is where people get it all confused. The
Because
Constitution was written by men, right? But the ideal behind the Constitution and what the Constitution is and what it reads as is something of great consciousness that if was lived by, this would be the most amazing cornerstone to build a foundation upon.
Right.
You understand?
Yep.
People want to dissect and do all these things to the Constitution, and talk about the men who wrote it. They didn't do this. They didn't do. Of course not. But they had the idea and they put it on paper.
Well,
so
I'm pretty
that
sure this
the
country
future-
was founded over throwing some tea in a harbor
Yeah.
over getting taxed too much.
Yeah.
And what you people and what people
without
don't
representation.
yeah, and what people are not realizing is, oh well, no, we're just paying a fee to get your registration on your car. That's a tax. Like every year you pay taxes on property. Like we are getting overtaxed, especially since what are we getting from our tax money? Well, Israel's got all the stuff they need from our tax money. You know, like, come on. Like, what are we doing with this money?
How could the day before 9/11, Donald Rumsfeld sat before the U.S. Senate and told them, no, your honors, I cannot prove to you where $2.7 trillion went to. I can't answer you honestly and tell you where this money went. And then all of a sudden, the next day, the Twin Towers get hit.
Oh, and do you know what the best part about that is, too?
Also, that very day of 2011, the Disclosure Project was going to get unveiled in front of the Senate.
And also,
come on, man.
one of our loans was up that day as well. And that was the financial hub of the world.
Come on, man.
You know?
It's just, it all works behind this agenda. We're working an agenda that we have no idea that we're perpetuating. In most cases, people don't. Now, like I said, this is the Great Awakening. where people are starting to wake up.
I was gonna say, listen to what Nick Rockefeller said about all that.
Yeah,
Nick Rockefeller talked about that happening
in the 80s.
Yeah, this was a plan.
Yeah.
This was all a plan.
Go back and look at the Illuminati card deck from 1996. They printed a deck of cards.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Illuminati
card game,
and it shows the Twin Towers being bombed in 1996. So, why do
you think they had that?
What people don't know.
Terrorism thing happened a few years before.
Listen,
we're testing the structural integrity of it.
On the Ark of the Covenant, there was the first Ark of the Covenant before the fall. There was one cherub, Lucifer, sat upon the Ark of the Covenant, right? So when Lucifer fell from the grace, God created the second Ark of the Covenant and put two cherubs on the Ark, right? So one could watch the other and the other watched the one, right? So just think about it in these senses of things. They wipe out the two cherubs and bring in the one. We're in an age of a battle between good and evil for the sake of our souls as people.
Indeed.
And we have to wake up to the fact that we've all been lied to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hard and sad pill to swallow that we've been lied to. And it's at a point now where we're reaching the pinnacle of existence. And if we don't stand as people, we're going to be swallowed up.
Yeah, I mean, just talking from personal experience about the hard pill to swallow, I mean, the only classes that I did good in high school in, that I took interest in, were advanced placement history classes. I was a history buff. Military history, all sorts of technical stuff. And to find out that the history that we're taught, now, like getting out of high school and stuff like that, I started to figure out some, little closer ties, especially talking to vets and stuff like that of, some real, but then you really start to figure out what's going on and the histories and, it's, my head still spins about it sometimes. It's not the easiest thing to take down, but it's something it's real.
Well, and again, to reiterate today's topic of the show is blind obedience.
Mm-hmm.
And since forever, we can't even say it's 200. Can't even say it's 243 years old because that's when the United States was founded. Can't say it's 1,000 years old because of the Roman Empire. Can't say it was 2,000. It's been going on forever.
Yes.
Forever. Blind obedience.
Since what I just said. Since that chair broke.
Any of this written history.
Mm-hmm.
And so where do we go from there? And I'm talking.
We go to that headspace, bro. We go to selflessness. If we can't attain that, selflessness,
yeah,
we fall. We are.
So that's So
we already know.
And when we started the second half, I started with that I had just started writing book 3.
Yeah.
So this last 20 minutes of this, that is what this character in the very beginning is dealing with.
Right.
Dealing with.
Yeah.
And when we write, me as an author, still an aspiring author. I mean, I only have one book published, right? 4 more coming out this year, just this year. So when we have all this stuff from society, how do you really start your day? How do you start your day where it's just going to grip and compel? We all have Dar Caldwell goes to the kid garden, and that man is inspiring every day. It's like, okay, well, his thing is, this is what I'm going to do. And everybody grabs onto that. They're like, okay, that's great. This is what I want to do. And they continue to read that story because Dar's story isn't, the Lorax story is compelling.
Right.
Where is he going to pop up? We went to, where did we go the other day? And he was,
to Ed's.
No. Last weekend when I went to run the not last weekend, the weekend before, when I went to run the 5K milk marathon, right? We're at lunch. Dar's outside planting sunflowers and stuff across the street from the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
We're at this one. We're running the thing, and Dar escapes down this side street. We're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I got this bag of flowers. I'm gonna go over here and plant this." Like, Dar inspires. So how do we continue, even if you're not an author? How do you continue to get people to stay true to themselves, to follow their path, and have hope? Don't lose hope.
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
It goes all back to that.
Communication.
It goes all back to that. It's like, that's what's broke down.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
what it's broke down.
And we're also programmed to think that, like, you know, like, we have to do these certain things. Well, you know, like, guess what? All the weird things that we're all into, there's other people out there that like those weird things.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so find the weird ones that are weird with you and be weird with them. But accept everyone for their weirdness.
So it's great that you said that, because I wanted to talk about relationships for a second. I have a friend of mine who is dealing with something in a relationship, and how do we go from there? My way, several years ago, I heard this. I think it was a comedian. They were talking about relationships are a 90-10. You cannot reach 100% in a relationship because you can't reach 100% within yourself, but there's always that 10% the what if aspect, right? And then that term, grass is always greener on the other side, is that 10%. It's that temptation every single day that, hey, look, this is better. You want to trade your car in for something better. You want to upgrade your phone for something better. You want to upgrade your relationship for something better, that other 10%.
I think that's the 90%.
Well, when you want that, but
no, I'm just being honest,
okay,
because you're inundated with that all the time.
Right. So
I think that's the 90%, and it's been it literally.
Well, it's the throwaway society.
But I'm looking at I'm also looking at it like from relationship aspects, right? So if you're in your relationship and you have that 90%, when you look on the other side of that fence for that 10%, and you go for it, you actually just lost 90%.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Right.
say. Is
So
that's why it's the 10%.
It's yeah.
Well, and look at that 10%.
Right.
And look at that 10%
We're always
as
striving.
that's room to grow.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's what
I don't
I'm
know.
trying
Like,
wanna
because if
be
you get to
100%,
100%, that's like the property that we walked the other day. Well, okay, cool. I got this nice house with this little chunk of property that's nothing, but I can't do anything else. Like, there's nothing else. Oh, I can go to IKEA and keep changing my furniture. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. That's not cool.
Yeah, or
I got a chunk of property with a bunch of redwoods, a creek, all this nice stuff. Unlimited potential. So if we start to, it's like the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
No, the sky is putting a limit on yourself.
See, and my next relationship, if I decide to get in one, I don't want to learn everything about this person in the first month. I don't want to learn about it in the first year. If we are going to do something, I want 40 years, lady.
Well,
I don't want to. I do not want to learn everything all at once, because then when you
never know about. People are evolving every day.
Every day.
So
every day.
I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago for sure, because I don't even have the same cell in my body that was then. So think about it. You'll never know someone to their full potential unless you're there with them.
You give them that time.
And everyone, you're always evolving together, and that's what is amazing about relationships and where true love is shared, is that you not only grow yourself, but you grow together into this perfect union, and it's amazing, like me and my partner, we've been together 11 years, on and off. We separated for a couple years and then got back together, and
but y'all got a baby now?
yeah, but you go through these things in life where when you have real love and real love is shared, you cannot deny it. It's a feeling that you can't explain, because it's the only real thing there is, I believe. I'm one of them type of people, I will preach this to the day I die, that love is the only real thing there is. Like, this is the only thing that can touch you on this level of unconditional, completely selfless. When true love is shared, there is selfless feelings. You would give yourself for that person.
Amen.
So this is the essence that we as people need to live in and transcend and give to our next generation, and just really profess the love, because that's what's going to change it. That's the way we have to change, is recognizing that true essence of love.
Is love.
Recognizing that true essence of love, right? And really focusing your energy upon that. And then those around you will start to emulate you, because, like I said in the beginning, you are the company you keep. So if you have like-minded people around you, and these people are sharing these same ideals and these same energies with you, you start to create this massive fluid and flowing energy, and it just grows. And it's like when we were talking about a couple weeks ago, when two people are in his name, he so shall be there too.
Right.
So
Right.
it's the same principle of what they talk about when two people together and the Lord shall be there. Well, it's the same principle. It's like, as we gather in these masses, that's why mass prayer works, and I believe in that. And we gather together, these energies are created, and they start this like wave of positivity and of love that transcends, like I said, space and time and all these things, and it builds these barriers to these evils that are surrounding us at all times.
Well, think about
And
if we took
basically,
the
I
energy.
wish you guys could sit right here. I wish you
Build
guys
the
could sit
flag.
here next to
Well,
this.
think about, like, if
because
we
I'm
were
sitting
to,
here wanting to move, man.
Well,
I just want to dance.
well, think
Just,
about like, if we were to take the time and energy, instead of putting them into like, sports games and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and we put them towards positive things. And I'm not saying sports are bad, and that's coming from me, who we've gotten into it about sports. But like,
I've
think
given him a
about
look
it.
like, don't you take my
Whether
sports
or
away.
not you want to deny energy, and energy like that exists, like, you go to a sports game, you feel that. There's no denying that.
Yeah, but
So imagine taking that love and that energy and putting that energy that you feel at a sports game and getting all sorts of people like that and put it towards good love feelings and helping things.
In that scenario with the sporting event and everything, in the Colosseums, we're in the Roman circus. These are part of the Roman circus.
Well, that's just it. It's
new age.
It's
Roman
an energy
circus.
harnessing device.
Well,
they're
of course it
harnessing
is.
that energy.
So what did they do? They keep you entertained, right? They keep you fighting amongst each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what do? You never look up. So because you're entertained with those around you,
Right.
and you're arguing amongst yourselves. So you never look to the next level, And it's sad that I used to love pro sports, and then it got to a point where all these athletes started to want to strike.
Well, it's all fake.
Well, I know it's all fake, Ben, but I still love.
Wrestling's real.
I still like sports.
Wrestling's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't you shake your head at me.
Well, no, look, I still like sports. And
I somehow caught a
Listen.
bit of the 4th of July WWF a
Look.
few years ago, and it literally horrified me.
Listen,
It's real.
Horrified me.
Realer than
so
UFC.
look to what has come to this point now. Look where we're at now. We're at the UFC as the biggest sporting event in our country. All right.
Stupid.
We're at the point of gladiators fighting in a
Mhm.
cage, almost bare knuckle.
Oh, and that happens too.
You know what I'm saying? And that does happen. Now they have a league
Yeah.
of these of
Bare
a
knuckle
little
fighters,
bit older that are bare knuckle fighting, who are like ex MMA and ex all these guys that used to fight in all that fighting. So if we can't see where the powers that be are trying to make us digress back to this point of anarchy amongst men, love for your fellow man. We've already been inundated so much that we can walk by someone that's damn near dying on the side of the road and not even ask if they're okay. You know, most people have been put to that point, but you'll bow down to a dog that's hurting. You know, a dog could be hurting over there, and you would way sooner go to the dog. Most people nowadays, and I hate to say this about my fellow people, but it's the truth. Yep. And if I can't tell you the truth, then I'm sorry. And
yeah, but I'm going to say that people are even more numb than that, because I'll be honest,
it is, though.
People won't even stop for a hurt animal.
No, I know.
Like,
I know, Ben. I'm even giving them a little. I'm giving
them a little credit.
Giving them a little credit. You know. So, if we can get just,
Well, we need to have one of those tables with a sign on the front that says, "People like animals more than people. Prove me wrong."
No. You know, just
seriously.
I feel like.
Well, the realistic thing about this is like, you know, we want to bring up Rome. Like, y'all think Rome burnt or died? It never did. Rome has been in action 100% of the time. I mean, and if you have any denial about that, look at the Vatican. Look at the name. I mean, come on, wake up. Like, we are Rome, and Rome will burn again. You know, so it's just a matter of time of how do we want this to come down?
Well, this is the thing. You know it as well as I do. We have to know our real history. So until people know their real history, they're going to keep repeating the history that they've been given. So at this point in time, once again, we have this man leading our country who might be a radicalist on this or that or whatever he may be. Trump he's a
Ooh, you said the T word?
He's a go-getter, right? Whatever he's trying to get his face on something, you know? So, he is an amazing catalyst for this change.
Hey, so is Andrew Yang, and you're
got your nose
right up there.
I do.
This is my point. This is my point. Trump is not, and I'm not saying I support him. I don't support him. I'm neutral in all aspects, but he is an amazing catalyst for the change that we are on the cusp of. Because it's starting to make people question. And you know what? When people question things, they start to dig. And when they start to dig, they start to find things. And when they start to find things, they look for more things. And once the truth, you get baptized in the truth, you can't deny it anymore. And you just keep searching and you keep digging and you keep finding out more and more. And you will find who you really are and where you really came from and what we are here for. And it ain't to be no slave, and it ain't to slave train up under these people, because we're all created the same, you know. And
and this is why censorship of the internet and stuff is very, very scary, because when files are digital, they can be easily altered and they can just be vanished and erased. But at the same time, having the internet and having all this storage and stuff like this also means there's a vast amount of information for you all to go look and dig. And one of the things I highly recommend,
and don't just dig on the internet.
Look at old pictures.
Look at old books.
Go to a library.
Go to a library.
Delaware County has one of the best libraries.
Yeah, go to the National Archives and see what really went on.
And we're trying to get that floor fixed. That floor is creaky and terrible. But you know, give us some time. Give us some time.
I feel like people need to find their self. And once we can find ourselves, then we can move on. Because where it is right now, like I said, we've been lied to pretty much about everything we've been told. So.
You're absolutely right. Our current leader has been and is a catalyst. And yes, he is a businessman, and yes, Andrew Yang is also a businessman, but in my eyes, there's a difference between the two. One cares about business, one cares about the people.
No.
Okay, well, hold on.
That's what he says.
Okay, well, we will find out. There's 15 new Democratic people that are coming, right? So whether or not, we still have 2 years. We have 2 years that we're going to be
And
talked
right,
to,
why is
inundated,
everyone
all this
living
stuff.
in the future?
Right.
Why is everyone living in the future?
Yeah, like let's
figure
out what's going on now.
Well, and there we go. Why are we worried about 2020? Who even knows what 2020 is? You know,
But the fact of the matter is, no one has been willing to work with this man, Trump. Like, period. No, like seriously, he's just been thrown roadblock after roadblock. Whether or not he's a good person, he's trying to do good things, and the fact that our government is stopping him from doing stuff that it's literally been like voted upon and people have been trying to do for a long time, just because they don't want this man to succeed in any way, shows that there's problems.
Part of his agenda is a democratic platform from like the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, Make America Great Again was something that Reagan said.
I'm totally not on either side of it because I don't like the political game. I feel like that's all.
We don't need it.
Game. I don't.
Yeah, we don't need
it.
it.
I'm very intelligent in it. I know political science. Therefore, I see what's going on. You know, and I see that this is why I say this all the time, that Trump is the catalyst that America needed in order to have this great awakening of knowledge and truth. And once the truth comes out, it's going to be from such a dark place that it's going to really make people step back and really make people question where they have been within themselves, because you might have already been sold up the river, you know, and unwillingly, you know, and that's why I encourage everyone, don't take a word of anything I say on here for a grain.
This is all of our own opinions, but you know
what?
Yeah, please do your own research.
please do your own research. That way, one day when me and you might cross paths, you can really say, "Dang, Zay, you were speaking some truth."
Or hopefully, like, you can tell me something that I didn't know.
Exactly, because
exactly.
These are the things that we as people have lost. We've lost this sense of our own dignity to find truth. We take everything from everyone else and we try and hold it up on some pedestal. And until you can amass the evidence through multiple sources of research, and you can compile a lot of evidence all pointing towards this, then you should draw your conclusion. But until then, you can't just take this guy's word for it, you know, that, oh, this happened. No, you got to really get, like, reliable sources of information over mass amounts. And this is how I draw conclusions. I don't know about anyone else, but this is how I draw conclusions. That I compile information from all different sources, saying, and I'm not talking about YouTube.
When I see coincidence,
I'm talking about I read books. So I search books of ancient realm. And if you start looking into the secret teachings and these quote unquote secret societies or these ancient religions, you start to learn about what this agenda has been, and it's been here since way before anything that we can actually comprehend in our own in our own stance right here before each other, you know, and it's you can start to see the lies, and how they've been told, you know, they especially once you really delve into the ancient mysteries and stuff, it really starts to open your eyes, because everything that's around us is making this so you can't truly see the truth, right? So,
well, you know, it's like the one thing that we were talking about earlier, which I'm not going to go too deep into, but you know, you look at all these ancient, and I use the term ancient very, very lightly because
1960s, right?
You know, 1500s, but no, I didn't say that. But anyway, so like, you know, we got like these pyramids and all these like crazy wall structures, and you look at the cuttings, and people are like, oh well, they look like they're cut by lasers. We still, we don't have all the information. Well, I have this weird suspicion that we're going to start to learn about, some ancient stuff like that,
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to warn you, it's a distraction, aliens, it's a distraction.
Yep.
Like all this stuff that we all know to be true, we don't need them to tell us that it's true. Like, hey, like whether it's flat, a donut, like round, who knows?
Hollow.
Yeah,
It's only this big. I've
Yeah.
seen it on TV. It's only this big.
it's inside a marble, man.
It's only this big. And
Inside a universe in a marble.
I saw the moon the other night. And the moon's only this big.
I think.
Oh, dude, some days it's like this.
Oh
man.
yeah,
Hey,
it's huge.
Getting back to what you were just talking about, I really think that's the only.
Well, we're not
that's-
allowed to get back to
Listen,
anything.
that's the next step.
Mm-hmm.
So, for control wise.
Yeah.
Now, they've been talking about this in government, secret societies, over time. That's how one day they will get a one world government, is to create an alien invasion.
Oh yeah, well that's one of the things that they're gonna definitely
And
try.
they're just gonna start releasing this information about, and don't quote me on this or anything, but maybe like Antarctica or
Well, hey, I'm glad we got Will Smith.
they're gonna
'Cause
start.
Will Smith-
They're gonna start releasing this information where it's like, oh, we found these ancient ruins and all this stuff, or this crazy flying saucer technology, and it's just gonna be like
It's a
old shit.
distraction.
See, okay, so
Well, because guess what? They can't keep just blowing up a bunch of people or
I
shooting
know.
up a bunch
Okay.
of people because we aren't gonna keep falling for that.
okay,
Yeah.
so a couple weeks ago, remember I said I watched this TV show on this series on Netflix, The Buried Secrets of the Unknown, right? Remember okay,
That ship,
yeah, right.
bro.
So, what I don't know.
Oh,
if
yeah,
people
with
have- I
the
don't-
gold
who's-
heads and
right.
all that.
So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, yeah,
I
Mickey
don't know.
Mouse and the
Oh,
Mickey
hold on,
Mouse.
you're giving it away. So at the very end, I'm gonna.
My bad.
At the
Wow.
no, it's alright. So at the very end, and this ship was sunk like hundreds of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Hundreds of years ago,
Yeah.
long time ago. And then there's the gold head of Medusa,
Yep.
right? The gold casting head of Medusa, and not only that,
The,
how in the heck
sun dish of Apollo.
the sun dish of Apollo, but also how in Hades is there a statue of Mickey Mouse
and Walt
right
Disney
next to Walt Disney and Goofy
and Goofy.
that are hundreds of years old? Shenanigans.
Mhm.
People watch this show. It's in the 3rd episode. Or no, I think there is only one episode. It's like an hour and a half long.
It's a 2 hour.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
45.
If you want to just fast forward to the last 15 minutes and watch it from there,
Yeah, that blew my mind.
I
was like,
you will
y'all
be like,
are
whoa, that is nope.
crazy. Y'all are
No,
crazy.
no,
But-
you're gonna
but-
keep lying to me?
Well, the thing is, I
Walt
believe-
Disney.
Listen, they can time travel.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can. They can.
I watched that
believe
thing last night that she showed me. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Time travel is
they've had-
possible.
They've had that.
Oh, yeah,
since,
yeah.
They've had that since the 50s.
There's
You know?
open,
Disney, you're caught,
there
brother.
is open
Caught.
declassified government
Oh,
documents
prove me.
talking about time programs that they've had. And then there's of course a ton that are conspiracy
Okay.
theory as
Now,
well.
I had to
Let's-
pause
let's-
this
let's-
thing and
let's go.
rewind it like several times. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Here's,
Well,
here's
hey,
Mickey Mouse
hey,
right
real quick,
next to Disney.
real quick. Y'all, we're already talking about Netflix.
Love
So-
Netflix.
Alright, well, everybody has watched Stranger Things.
Yes, season 3
So,
is coming out. soon,
Stranger
too. Hey, guys.
Things is literally about something
Hey, Dad.
turned into a time travel, but
Montauk.
they were going to call it
My
the
dad's on
Montauk.
too.
Oh,
My dad. Hey,
Hello.
guys. Hey, Dad.
they were going to call it the Montauk Project. Because that also ties into Aleister Crowley and Lem. Who, if you look at the drawing of Lem, look this up, it looks pretty much like a gray alien, or what we're told is the Greys.
Well-
So,
On my trip last summer, I came across Newspaper Rock. Have you ever heard of this place? It is one of the oldest petroglyphs. It's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and put the picture after the show. I'm going to put it up. But at the bottom, it has all these different caricatures of
Hieroglyphs?
because
Because there's a bunch of Egyptian
Right.
Egyptian
the
stuff
hierarchy
in the Grand Canyon.
the hierarchy of this thing that goes all the way up at the very top it shows at the very top it shows this thing and a mighty warrior going against it, right? And it looks just like a spacecraft and somebody that has dressed up to be like something bigger than the alien to scare them off.
Yeah.
And if you read, I'm not joking. If you read everything and you take it into account, what you look at, don't look at what science or what history says. Oh, this is blah blah blah. No.
How do you know you ain't downside?
Look at it, because it shows that however long ago we were visited and they fought them off, and then it transpired all the way down, and how it actually came to be.
Well, what about
I'm going to put the picture
those
up.
old medieval paintings? That have like the Virgin Mary or someone that looks like the Virgin Mary, and there's UFOs in the background.
What about the Russian tanks with the
UFO marks on them? Yeah.
So I mean, this knowledge is here.
Well, we've seen the movie Hellboy. I mean, you really think that's that far fetched? I mean, I hate to say it, but all this stuff that, like, you look at Star Trek, and when that first came out, it was all fantastical. And this is all declassification, but they put they put twists on it.
The Knights Templar.
Yeah.
James T. Kirk, his initials stand for the Knights Templar.
Yeah, and Albert Pike
was the officer that gave him the USS Enterprise. And if you go back in history and read about Albert Pike, he formed the American branch of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And what most people don't realize, he wrote the script for what is happening right now in our society. If you go back and you read his manifesto, it tells you exactly what's going on in America right now.
And that was written a long time ago, wasn't it?
This was written in the 1800s. He talks about transgenderism, singularity between people, because they're bringing in the Baphomet. And what he talks about is separation of family, separation, breaking down of economic growth, one world government, all these things that are happening.
Yeah, look at the covers of the New Economist.
And if you look, look at, and I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm simply stating fact from years upon years, 20 years of research.
Dude, you're only 24.
Yeah.
But, you're the handsome one of the group. If you ever see us in public, he's the handsome one. He's the one with
20 years of research of dedication to unearthing the true truth of our existence, in my eyes, is led me to a point of this was all script written. And one of my mentors was actually one of the script writers in life. And I'm not going to say his name or anything, but I can say this is an 82-year-old man. He just celebrated his 82nd birthday. Happy birthday, my brother. He now manages a 125-acre healing wellness retreat in Colorado.
Yes. Happy birthday.
But he came here and spent a year and a half with me to give me the oral teachings of the secret societies. And now these are teachings that aren't written in books, because when you have esoteric things that are being taught, they are not allowed, or they're frowned upon about being written in a book, because they will only give you the esoteric or the exoteric teachings in a book, which means the facade. They will give you the facade of.
If you know how to if you know the key and you know how to look into that, you can see what they
will give you the facade and the exoteric, but to learn what the true inner teachings are of the esoteric, you must be given them orally. And this man was a CIA scriptwriter for 41 years. He was also a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. He was a Shriner.
Person that did Star Trek was Simpsons writer.
Yeah, we have to look at these things about, these programs. We go back to the 9/11, what we were talking about. 9/11 was just a program. a program to initiate power and control upon the people. This was to indoctrinate the people into the Patriot Act.
Yeah,
which
now
is
we don't
another
question.
spell that was given upon the people that takes away the majority of all your free rights. Basically, your free will in America was taken after the Patriot Act was signed. Whether you knew it or not, if you look at the law and read it verbatim, it basically null and voids you of all your rights.
Mhm.
Now, like I
And
said
all they
before,
have to do that is call you a terrorist.
yeah, now like I said before was you remove the two cherubs that look upon the land of the new land
Mhm.
and you erect one.
They removed the checks and balances.
Yeah. So
Now it's
you
One way.
now we are upon that age of man where we have to make this conscious choice between good and evil because we've been indoctrinated into a bilateral, yin and yang, which is false. The yin and the yang is basically the sun and the moon, and how you carry that amongst yourself.
Well, we got about 2.5 minutes left, so we're gonna start winding down for today. You got anything going on this weekend? We were talking about something going on this weekend.
We're actually moving livestock and everything over to the property.
Nice.
We got 14 sheep, 5 goats, 25 chickens,
Man.
all kinds of fruits and veggies
Sweet.
and everything. We're just getting the farm going.
Well,
Getting the farm going.
I turned 26 again this weekend on Saturday, so I'm heading down to Humboldt. If you guys live in Humboldt, come out to the Humboldt Fairgrounds. It's a Eureka doubleheader for roller derby. It is $15 for admission, but oh my gosh, to watch these ladies, I love roller derby.
Bash it out.
Bash it out. I'm really looking forward to meeting the Humboldt team. Oh man, I'm just really inspired by it. So other than that, I'd like to thank you both again. Every week is a new beginning, and it's an eye opener, and it's how we grow.
It's a new layer.
It is.
It's how we learn.
It
It's
is.
definitely how we learn. And we carried this with us. And
So if you're just catching the last part of the show, we all have these 4 things in our hearts. We have hope, we have faith, we have will, we also have desire. And if you feel in your life that you have lost all 4 of those, call us.
Yeah.
Message me, anything you need, because we have this thing, and I want to call it really
I
an
think it's
epidemic.
5 things, though. I think it's 5 things.
Oh, it
You gotta
is
love.
love.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And when you feel like
Because
you've lost,
actually, all those other things are just a derivative of.
they are. So when you feel like you've lost all 4 of those things, and then you really have no more love, like where do I get it? Call us. We are here. There's this thing in life. It's called life. Everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves love. If you see us on the road, stop and ask for a hug. Doesn't matter. I will put down
Don't even
everything.
ask, just put your
Just
arms
put
out.
just tackle the big one. Tackle the big one.
Tackle the bearded Sasquatch.
Tackle the big one. But hey, we love you guys and we appreciate you. Dad, thank you so much for joining. I hope to talk to you sometime this weekend. I couldn't be here without you guys.
Yeah, amen, brother.
And I appreciate you both. I love you guys with all my heart.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking into more interesting musics, and we're gonna start doing that. Have
Yes.
a music
I think-
breakdown.
I think that would be awesome, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was it.
And next week, really quick, next week we have a good dear friend to be talking about some dear friends stuff. You guys have a great week. You guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Love and blessings.
Well, thank you much for listening. You're listening to KFUGLP Crescent City. That was DTL. We'll see you again next week. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really can't be on this mission and on this path alone. We can, but what is it that we really get from it? I couldn't be here today without my best friends, my brothers. And yes, my mom and my dad, my stepdad, my stepmom. All those steps are just one more step to us, to who we truly are. And I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you guys soon. We'll be broadcasting live Saturday night from roller derby several times probably. I can't say that I will be unhappy. So you guys enjoy your weekend. We'll see you guys next week. Tune in. Ben, I love you so much. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.